And welcome to Habs Unfiltered, episode 390. I'm your host, Blaine Pudvey. I'm joined now by my co-hosts, Treg Wilson.
Hello.
Matt Smith.
Good morning.
And our special guest, the chief of rumors, Lyle Richardson, aka Spector's Hockey. Welcome to the show.
Bonjour. Thank you for having me on, guys.
I believe you have the record for most appearances on this show at 7,
Wow.
which is more than Matt.
Lately, yeah, I'd say so.
He has a good excuse, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm working. I'm defending our nation.
I'm thousands of miles from home.
There you go.
I'm in Kuwait working out in the gym, taking selfies.
Look at my medals.
Isn't that
Check
you?
out my
Trent?
medals.
Wasn't that you?
I don't go to Kuwait to do it. I just go up the
okay.
road.
Okay.
Do you know what's really funny though? And I'll show you guys this, and you're gonna think it's kind of funny. So
Pants
I'm holding my mic right now, but like what I use right now as a platform are my metal boxes.
There you go.
Are those the
All
three you're
three of
supposed to
them?
get like 5 years ago?
I've actually got a fourth one here now too. So I got another one here too.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You're gonna have a
Catching up.
distinctive. He's gonna have a
Okay.
distinctive list to port if he keeps this up. I mean,
Yeah.
Put the uniform on.
Yeah,
You almost got as many as Lyle now.
I'm getting there. Okay, starting to catch up.
All right, so this is our first episode on Crier Media. I tried to go do live stream on there, but I'm a nearly 50-year-old grandfather, so I haven't figured out technology yet. Once I do, we'll do live. But in the meantime, we're just going to record, and then I'm going to upload it to all the different YouTube channels, so we can mess up as many times as we want, and then edit it.
We never mess
Now,
up. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Total professionals. Professionals, one and all.
We know everything.
Yes. Just ask us. We'll tell you.
You know, at work, everything I do and say is correct all the
But
time.
you're a chief now. So,
Exactly.
Exactly.
Your word, your word is unquestioned now. Yes.
There's God, and then there's the chief.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So, all
Steady.
right. Yeah. I didn't get my coffee mug yet, so once it's
Oh.
official, then
There you go. Yes, exactly.
yeah. So we'll mess up a few times. We'll try to edit them out, or we'll just leave everything in and goof around. But before we start, I want to point out a gigantic mess up that was made in our industry, and that is Vox Media dropping all the hockey channels on SB Nation. That was dirty. That was underhanded, and they screwed over a shitload of amazing people.
They were screwing them over, guys, before they even laid them all off. These poor folks were making, peanuts for what they were doing, for the work they were pulling. I mean, editors were making $300 a month. Are you kidding me? For the hours that they were working. Contributing writers, if they were lucky, made $50 a month. Good God. I mean, and full disclosure, many years ago, I was approached if I wanted to, come under their banner, until it's like, well, it all sounds good. What's the compensation? And then after I learned that, I very politely said, thanks, but no thanks. I'll continue.
Which really makes it, and the amount that they spend on these people, really, it's striking at the quality they've put out for literal pennies.
Yeah.
And yet somehow it wasn't profitable enough.
And these are companies that weren't losing money. They're not losing any money at all. And a lot of these, well, they're called websites now, but I remember a lot of them when they were blogs, when they started up 15, 16, 17, some of them 20 years ago. I stumbled across, a lot of them during the great, lockout of 04, 05, when, that was one of the few good things that came out of that, was a lot of people got together online from different blogs, a lot of that I didn't even know existed, and people who didn't even know I existed at the time online. And we just had that collective right away. That was that collective sense of community. And I got to know a lot of good people over the years because of it. For a time, I was able to share their work on my site as well, you know, linking to it and promoting it, especially writers that I thought were really deserving of it. Some of them went on to bigger and better things, not necessarily because I gave them the Spector's hockey nudge, but at least, you know, I was more than happy to just say, hey, here's what so-and-so is writing about this, about that. And to see that happen yesterday was, that was just a collective gut punch that has just rippled through social media since.
Yeah, like I know I was just gonna say, I know with us at the Hockey Writers, we go on a per click thing, and I mean, to make $50, we'd have to literally write nothing, and you know what I mean? Because you know, if you write a good enough story, you're going to get clicks.
Yeah.
Farther down the road. And like Blaine and I try to promote each other in our articles by linking to different articles that we write. But like I know guys like Matt Drake, Scott Malta, who did Locked On Habs, Matt Drake, who wrote for Habs Eyes on the Prize and stuff like that.
Yes.
They're gut wrenched like this from when I see them tweet on the thing. And I mean, I reached out to Matt and said, hey man, you know, you need something. I said, I told him, get a hold of the Hockey Writers. They're always looking for more, you know, writers and stuff like that. And a lot of people don't know what they're going to do. Like, I mean, as little as that income was, they still relied on it on a monthly basis. So,
and they were pursuing their dream, you know,
Yeah.
And I listen, you know, I've been freelancing full time for, this is my 17th season. I know what it feels like to be laid off, to be let go. It's happened to me several times. Fortunately, a couple of the places that laid me off hired me back. It was never about the quality of my work. It was never about butting heads with the editors or anything like that, because I just don't do that. You know, you establish a good rapport, you put out good work. It was never about the quality. It was always about budget cuts. And, you know, it sucks. And there were a couple of times over these past 17 years where, I was just in this exact same position that these good folks who've been let go at the SB Nation family, you know, where you don't know what you're going to do, where you think is this coming to an end? Does this mean my writing career is over? You know, for me, that happened a couple of times. Fortunately, I landed on my feet, thank goodness. But I really hope that for a lot of these folks that they'll be able to, but the sad thing is there probably will be some that this is going to be the end of the line for them. And that is such a shame. It is really a shame.
When you consider that, you look at the names that have come out, especially Habs Eyes on the Prize. We're a Canadians centric podcast. So we know these people, we follow these people, they follow us. We discuss things back and forth, and you see the names that have come out of Habs Eyes on the Prize, like Andrew Berkshire and Mark Dumont. Like there's names who have established themselves through that blog, that website.
That was their launch pad.
Got paid. That was their launch pad. You got paid nothing, but it opened doors.
Yep. Good
now
work
that's
will
gone.
do it. Yeah, good work will eventually pay off down the road for you. But for a lot of these folks, it's going to be gone. And I you know, some might continue on perhaps as their own site, maybe, you know, set themselves up as their own site, and kind of like what I do with mine, you know, to get their work out there, and maybe they can get some freelance gigs around there. I know Dan Kingersky, who runs National Hockey Now, he's put it out on Twitter yesterday, letting folks know, listen, if you've been part of this, let me know. You know, DM me, let me know. We'll see what we can do for you, because they're hiring. So, you know, maybe some other places will, you know, some of the, you know, other established media or whatever. I don't know if there's any other ones. I mean, maybe, you know, like the Hockey Writers, of course, obviously, maybe there's some other ones, but at the end of the day, though, it's going to be tough. And all I can do is I feel for these folks. You believe me, you have my sympathy. I know sympathy is not something you want or need right now. And I wish I was in a position where I could say, hey, get a hold of me. Unfortunately, like I said, I'm a one-man band at Spector's Hockey. I can't afford to bring people on. But, you know, if I can do anything, if I can maybe put in a reference or something, I'll certainly try, you know, and hopefully these folks can all land on their feet and continue doing what they love to do.
The other issue is too, though, like especially with the Montreal, I know at the hockey writers, we have 5 writers that write for Montreal now, and we're trying to leap over each other to put articles out. Like we have a little thing. We say, hey, I'm going to write this. I'm going to write this. Like for instance, Blaine and I had an idea to write about Yolonen, both of us. And I was like, oh, sorry, Blaine. I already, and Blaine's like, oh, okay, that's, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of, so when you get too many people into one, how much content are you going to get out if you're fighting with 5, 6, 7 other people to get that content out? So now they're trying to jump into other people's organizations where they don't have a foothold, and you already have a core group in certain teams. You may have to write for another team that you're not used to, and some people just don't want to do that. Like I know Matt Drake, he said it was all about his passion for the Canadians, and that's what he loved writing about it. And he just doesn't know what he wants to do now, because I think he understands that if he goes somewhere else, he's at the bottom of the pile and got to, you know, work his way back up. Like we just got a new guy on ours, Ken McMillan. Is that his last name? McMillan? And that's the issue he's kind of having now. He wants to write articles, but then we're like, hey, this was already done, or hey, this is, you know, is it different than this? And then he's, you know, and it's not that we're trying to get him not to write. We're just trying to guide him to the point, like, don't, you know, show him that, hey, this was done. If you make it different, write your article, but this is what already done. So hopefully he can, you know, I mean, it all works out in the end because we all work with each other. We're not.
I mean, if you've got a good teamwork there, I mean, I've been in, you know, different places like that too, where it's the same thing. You pitch your ideas. If somebody's already done it, working on it, writing or whatever, but at least you're not stepping over each other's toes, right? And sometimes you can have a similar idea, but you can kind of tweak it so one goes in one direction with it and one goes in the other, and it all works out, you know? So as long as you've got that and you get that cohesiveness, you know, it can work for you. But again, though, you can only have those so many. That's the sad thing. It'd be great if you could have a staff of 30 writers, all Habs centric, that could focus on all the stuff, but it's sadly that just isn't possible.
Now, I just want to let our friends at Habs on the Prize know that we do support them. We do, you know, if there's anything we can do, let us know. We can't do much, but we'll try.
Exactly.
So we're sorry. I mean, there's not much more we can say. I know it's a somber way to start the show, but I felt it had to get out there.
It did.
And unfortunately, I still have to keep making money. So I have to transition to a commercial. No Name Hockey. No Name Hockey is the source for custom-made hockey equipment and sticks. You want any kind of hockey stick, they will make it for you. Use the code HABS10 and save 10% on your purchases for any custom-made hockey equipment. Affordable and really good looking. I mean, it made me look pretty good on the ice. Not my skating or my shooting, but I look good doing it.
The equipment.
No Name Hockey.
The equipment.
The equipment looked good. That's No Name Hockey, code HABS10. All right. So to actual hockey stuff now.
Hooray.
This just a couple of days ago, there was a bit of I think it was a hockey game. It might have been something worse. I'm not sure. Maybe a fight, a UFC match. It ended up with Matheson being the only one getting supplemental discipline, and he got $5,000 for interference. Now, that's the maximum they can fine him for. Thankfully, he didn't say anything about the officiating, because that would have been $25,000, which
only
just
if
proves
you're a coach. Only if you're a coach.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which just proves the NHL's goal isn't, you know, player safety. It's about saving face.
You know, you talk about everybody always bitches about officiating, and I know that a lot of them it's a tough job, it's a tough gig. You're never going to please everybody. I get that, but you know, I've made this observation before. I mean, it just seems in recent years that each passing season it just seems to get worse and worse and worse. And you know, it's not every official, obviously. I mean, there are some games that quite obviously are better called than others, but boy, that Habs Panthers game was that was close to a bloody free for all. I mean, right off the bat, I mean, Matheson, I mean, sorry, that hit. I mean, yeah, it was interference, classed as interference. Technically it was interference, but that wasn't on. That wasn't on.
That was deserved. That fine was deserved.
Oh, big time.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
time. Big time. I don't know what he was thinking about that. Cause I mean, it's first of all, it's Eric Stahl. Eric Stahl is not going to go and wallpaper you in like that and like that. It's freaking Eric Stahl. Come on. But just, yeah, it just got out of hand. So of course he had to pay his dues on the ice as well. I had no issue with that, you know, since the refs weren't going to do anything about that. Yeah, I believe it was Tkachuk who he tangled with. Yeah. I don't fault Tkachuk for that. I'm not a big fan of Matthew Tkachuk, but in that instance, I was like, no, yep, that was the thing to do. I don't know what Giovanni was thinking going after Xhekaj. That was madness.
I think that was the one that really sparked everything. Honestly, like, yes, the Matheson hit was an obvious penalty, and it was dirty at the end of the day, and he got fined for it. But that Denisenko hit from behind, like, Xhekaj's a guy that's going to stick up for himself, and he's going to stick up for his teammates. And we noticed that other players started taking liberties or coming over the blue line. Guys were reaching, especially a guy like Mark Stahl. And when Savard came in and got in his face, you knew that the powder keg was already lit. Like, something was going to happen. And luckily nobody got seriously injured, because that's kind of what I was waiting for. I was waiting for a Caufield to get hit or something like that. But
boy,
it's something that we can move on from now. And you know, the fans that were in attendance got a few good pictures on their cell phones. So
can I just say though, Xhekaj is becoming a legend. He's becoming a legend.
He is. They love him.
I love the nickname Sheriff. That's so much better than Wi-Fi, you know, which is what they called him earlier in the season.
Yeah, but they absolutely love the guy, and he has surprised so many people since he first took the ice. Like, the guy's, I know it's the Canadians, but the guy's second on the team in scoring for defensemen.
Yep. And he can play. It's not just about, oh, well, he's got, you know, fists like cured hams and he can, you know, beat the snot out of people. No, he can actually play. He's got a deceptively quick shot from the point. He can play physical, but I don't see him like playing dirty. I mean, he's made the odd mistake, but he's young. A lot of them are young. They're making mistakes, but he learns from them, and he's garnering regular ice time. And he plays with an energy and an enthusiasm that I think is very important for a rebuilding club.
Absolutely. He's definitely a piece moving forward.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere.
According to Twitter, Lyle, he is not only overrated, but has a high value all at the same time.
There you go. High value and overrated.
That's exactly where you want to be.
Yeah.
There you
It's
are.
the perfect hockey player right there.
He's in the sweet spot. He's in the zone right there.
I read that and I was like, that doesn't even make any sense.
It wasn't two people either.
But
That wasn't two people saying that.
It was one guy.
One guy.
In one sentence, in the exact same sentence. He goes, I love Xhekaj, but he's the most overrated Hab right now. We need to trade him while his value is high. What?
And like,
I'm shocked that so many of these armchair Twitter GMs don't have full-time jobs in the National Hockey, because they're obviously freaking geniuses.
Oh, he got roasted and doubled down, and the double down wasn't any good better. So I don't know.
I mean, this is a guy that he's leading the league in rookie goal scoring for defense.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's 11th in the NHL in hits.
Mhm.
He's a calculated physical player. He brings intimidation to the game and protects his teammates, which allows them to play a little bit more open.
Yeah.
And the fucker can skate.
Yes, he can. Yes,
Hey, Montreal hasn't had a player like this since, I'm going to go Nick Delorier, maybe.
In terms
No,
of
actually,
bit better.
But Delorier didn't have the talent. Delorier didn't have the skill then. So I don't know how far back we can go to say that Montreal had a talented guy who's not afraid to drop the gloves and protect the other players. Like how
Surrey?
maybe.
on defense.
Maybe.
Probably.
And then
Maybe
Surrey stopped when he broke his hand.
Yeah.
So
So I would say, but
Lyle
you could
Line?
probably say, maybe, that would be good.
and you're
That
going
would
back
be
to
good.
the 90s.
Yeah. I would not go back to the 70s and 80s and say Larry Robinson, because it's just not the same thing. But Larry was the same way though. He would stick up for his he was just Big Bird. That's all.
But I think people like that just look at the fights. They look at the penalty minutes and go, "Oh, we don't need a guy like this. Yeah, he might have a few points, but all he is a fighter. But he's not. And he's learning to pick and choose when to fight. I've noticed too. Like,
very smart. Yeah.
So.
And I mean, when he had his first major tangle with Zach Cashin, the thing that struck me in that one, he just he went right at Cashin before Cashin even had a chance to set up. I mean, okay, we know you're going to drop him. It's just, you want to go. Yep. And it was just, as soon as the words "you want to go" were out of the mouth, down with the gloves, and he was on Cashin just like that.
But he scouted Cashin though. He had, and that's why he knew to do that.
And that's smart. Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, the word's going to get around. He's not going to spend his entire career fighting. I think what you're seeing here is in a way, this is kind of Robinson-esque, if I can use that comparable. When the word got around way back in the day and early in Robinson's career, don't mess with this guy, don't get him angry, or he's going to hurt you, And once that word got around, Robinson didn't have to fight as much anymore. When you read Ken Dryden's book, The Game, he brought that up, that you mentioned that point, that for most of Robinson's career, it was reputation. He didn't have to drop the gloves that often anymore. He could just show up, get in the guy's face, and that was enough. It was just like, whoa, okay, hey, no, Larry, it's okay, And maybe that could be, sort of the same sort of thing with Xhekaj. Maybe that, once the word gets around, listen, don't tangle with this kid. It's just not worth it, then the focus can shift more to the other aspects of his game, which he tends to be pretty good at. I don't know what they're training these guys in Costco, but geez, man, let's get more of them there. Come on, let's do it.
He's buying punches in bulk.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, now his mom's getting him for her Costco discount because she works at Costco as well, changing tires. So
there you are.
So she's and if you haven't seen that YouTube story, go onto YouTube now. I think it's going to be on CBC. I think it's going to be on Sportsnet tonight. A portion of it. What a great little story about the Xhekaj family.
Absolutely. Like it's people think he comes from out of nowhere. Yeah. And in a way he does, but I mean, you don't just make the NHL out of nowhere. This kid has something.
That's the thing. A lot of these, he came from out of nowhere. No, it's a story that's a long time coming. Yeah. I could think of no better example for me. Joel Ward, who UPEI alumni here, by the way. That's really where his hockey career began. 4 years playing here at the University of Prince Edward Island. But he wound up, he was undrafted, made the NHL, and the whole thing was with him was, wow, he seemed to come from out of nowhere. No, that story was a long time coming. That was a lot of work, a lot of effort, and it's just wonderful when it pans out. It does kind of give you some faith that, you know what, if you stick to it, dreams can come true, and that's what happened with Joel Ward. That's what's happening with Xhekaj now.
I love Xhekaj's overall approach and attitude, not just on the ice, but off the ice. He is unafraid. The comments he made after that game against Florida, calling out Radko Gudas, their toughest guy, who didn't fight at all, even though he was called out.
Yeah, but he took that cross check though. Like he's probably still
God,
limping pretty bad about that.
Yeah, so. those fractured shoulder blades take a long time to recover from. Yeah.
For me, it was shot by
a sniper.
It was Doc laying the hit on him and then standing over him. That's what I liked.
Oh, that was good. Yeah. that was good. And that wasn't almost like a hit. It was almost just sort of like a shove off in a way. Just get off. And,
Doc laid a couple good hits. He had another good one in New York where the guy came after him and he just put the shoulder into him and spun him around like it looked like an airplane propeller going through the air. I forget what Islander that was, but
Xhekaj.
Yes.
Xhekaj, that's right. Yes.
And he just, it was a good, clean hit. He
in full stride.
Full stride.
He didn't even break stride. He just dropped the shoulder and went boom. And Kirby Doc, that's another good story. This is what though we were expecting when the Canadians acquired him. This was the sort of thing we were looking for. This is what we were hoping for. And I mean, he's already having a career best season. He's only 21. He's going to get better as he goes along. He still needs to work on faceoffs. My God, he's terrible on the draw still. That if there's one thing that they should be stressing to him, what do I need to do in the offseason, coach? Faceoffs. You're doing everything else fine. Work on your draws and you'll be fine. Because they still want him to be a center. I know he works fine on the wing as well. Having him with Suzuki and Caufield, obviously dynamite line together. But you know, they still see him in that second line center role. And if he's going to be doing that, he's got to improve on the draw. But otherwise, everything else about his game I like. And every time I see him play, he just seems to be getting better all the time.
Even at center, his game is spot on, except the faceoffs. At center, everything he does as a center is spot on, exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Except when he takes, it's almost like you need, I don't know, someone like Monahan on his line with him to take the draws, and then he plays the center. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well,
segue.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't really count on him for very long. But before we get to that part of it, there was one other aspect of that game against Florida that I want to bring up, and that is, what the fuck is goalie interference?
It seems to change from game to game, doesn't it?
Moment to moment.
Man,
I swear to God, it's a coin flip.
Yeah. NHL, the NHL officiating, they really need to do something here in the off season, and really maybe they start needing to have some camps or something. I don't know, but I thought that this was something that was going to be addressed. I mean, God, 5 years ago when Gary Bettman had to weigh in on that whole Pavelski thing in the playoffs, because when your commissioner is saying that was an embarrassment and that he's embarrassed for what happened, you would have thought that would have brought about some change, but it really doesn't seem to be. It just seems to be getting worse. And as you said, you're seeing things like, what is goaltender interference now? You know, it seems like if you accidentally nudge the guy a little bit unintentionally, it's goaltender interference. But if you steamroller him or whatever, or you block his attempt to try to get back into the crease, that's all of a sudden, no, good goal. What are you watching? What are you watching? If the player is standing in the opposing forward is standing in the crease, preventing the goaltender from getting back into the crease, that's goaltender interference. At least
according to the league, didn't matter because he wouldn't have made the save anyway.
He also never had the opportunity to make the save either.
Yes, which is the whole point of goaltender interference. Anyway.
The easiest way to fix this is any type of contact with the goalie while in the crease is automatic goalie interference.
Well, some people were talking about bringing in the crease violation, like what international hockey does.
Yeah, but then but you got to be careful with that, because then we got that slippery slope going back to 25 years ago, where it was, if you had a toe in the crease, the goal was disallowed.
But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is any contact with the goaltender while in the crease, you can still have a toe in the crease as long as you're not contacting.
But what kind of contact though? Because then you get into but what if his own defenseman knocks, once the goalie's defenseman knocks the player in? Is that goaltender interference at any kind? No. What if it's what is deliberate, what is accidental? I mean, are you going to call goaltender interference if Connor McDavid just accidentally nudges your goaltender, but not enough to the point where you throw him off that he could have prevented the game-winning goal in the Stanley Cup final? I mean,
how about all these failed Michigan attempts where the guy just comes across and hits him in the face with a stick? All right,
coming from a lacrosse goaltender. If you're pushed in by the defenseman, sure. That's a reviewable call. Say, okay, no, whatever. But any other type of contact, accidental or not, blow the whistle, have a face-off, away you go.
It's not even a penalty. It doesn't even have to be a penalty.
Doesn't even have to be a penalty.
Yeah.
Just blow the whistle, have a no goal, blow the whistle, have a face-off, off you go.
Don't even have to put the face-off outside. Leave it right there. Like just to keep the guys from standing in the goddamn crease like that. With Tkachuk literally in the crease,
Yeah.
with his back turned to the goalie, blocking the entire blue paint.
Yeah.
Even if they have some kind of magical way of knowing if a save could have been made or not, he blocked his way back.
Exactly. That was my
Perfectly
I
okay,
guarantee,
Blaine.
I
Perfectly
guarantee
okay.
tonight in Hockey Day in Canada, we're going to see a goal exactly like that get called back.
Mm-hmm.
Against the Leafs.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Leafs will get the call.
Yeah.
Now. Let's not go there. That's the one thing I don't like. I don't like it. It's a conspiracy against the Habs. They're for the Leafs. They favor this team over the other team. It's like now you're going into old 1970s Don Cherry territory. Let's not go there.
They just all suck.
Well, I mean, and the reason they suck is there's no accountability for refereeing.
Yeah.
There's none.
Yeah.
There's no accountability.
Yeah.
Like there's no like I know in football and every other one, if you're not good in baseball umpires, if you don't do playoff games, you don't do this, there's an evaluation, you get evaluated. You keep messing up, less games, you know what I mean? You lose money because you're
guys,
you're not
if I can interrupt you just for a second here. I don't know if you've seen this or not, and I'm making sure this is and it's legit blue check mark. You seen it too, Matt?
Cole Caufield.
Cole Caufield is done for the season to a right shoulder injury.
oh
Chris Johnston reporting.
Yeah.
Yeah, RDS just put that out too.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
He needs a surgery.
I haven't even swore yet.
Yeah, and now NHL.com reporting it as well.
Yeah.
There it is. So, well, for folks who wanted the tank, there you go.
Yeah, there's
That's not the way.
No.
I don't recall seeing him
No.
look like he was injured in the Florida game.
No. Then there's so far there's no details yet as well. I'm sure we'll find out later today. It'll be all over everything. This really sucks though, man. This kid was on his way to being the first 40 goal scorer in a season since Vinny Domfus back in the mid 90s, for God's sake.
Yeah. Montreal's got that curse. They really do. It happened with Pacioretty multiple times. Right?
I don't know what it is. It's just a lot of injuries though to them this year. I mean, they've still been again, they're still a better team this year, despite all the injuries, than they were a year ago when it was such a dog's dinner.
Yeah. But it seems that it's the guys that are just starting to get going as well. Like Armia was finally starting to pick it up. Drouin was starting to pick it up. Evans was starting to pick it up.
Yeah.
You feel bad for Gallagher every time he gets injured because he's the guy's just
Slavkovsky. I mean, I know Slav's been up and down a bit and all that, but I mean, he's just been finding his way in the North American game, and patience is required.
Yeah.
And then he's thankfully it doesn't require surgery. Caufield's requires surgery. Yeah. It's season ending. Well, like I said, hopefully he'll be able to come back and be full strength again next season.
Absolutely. Even Sean Monahan. He's still fifth. He's still fifth on the team in points.
17 points in 25 games before he got hurt. Yeah. I think that says a lot to Martin St. Louis coaching as well.
Yep. This was a throwaway contract, so they can get Kadri.
So Caufield, it says it's a right shoulder surgery that's required. So I can't recall seeing anything. And if he was able to play the rest of the game. Yeah. So maybe some kind of a minuscule tear.
A shoulder debridement, maybe.
Yeah, we'll find out. Well, as I said, we'll find out later on today. I'm sure this is going to be all over. Yeah, I'm sure hockey.
And here I thought Lyle was going to give us a trade, and it was an injury.
I really wish that's what it was.
Damn you!
Yeah. Okay. Well, goodbye.
It's all Lyle's fault.
Yeah, I'm out of here. Rumors, schmoomers. You don't need any rumors from me. See you later.
Absolutely not. But before we get to the rumors, though, and we'll stick with Caufield, unfortunately, with him out for the rest of the season, how do you think this is going to affect his contract? I don't think it will at all, but
no, I don't. Yeah. Listen, he's going to get, we already know Ken Hughes wants to sign this kid long-term deal. I think they're probably looking at something, around this, what Nick Suzuki got. I think it's going to be a little higher than what Nick Suzuki got, because you can say, well, Suzuki signed his deal. It was 2 years ago, values had changed. His agent's going to say, look, okay, I know season ending, but this kid was projected for 40 goals, would have reached it easily if he hadn't gotten hurt. You can throw a lot of different things in there. I think he gets 7 to 8 years for, I would say it goes maybe as high as 8.5 mil, but not much higher. And for people who say, no way, he wouldn't get more than, Nick Suzuki would get. Gee, Evgeny Malkin drew a bigger salary than Sidney Crosby for years. Crosby didn't have a problem with it. The Penguins never had a problem with it. And I don't think anybody here in Montreal is going to have a problem with it. If Cole Caufield gets 8.5 mil for 8 years, while Suzuki's making 7.875 mil.
Yeah.
They're line mates and best buds. I really don't think that's going to cause any issue between them two either.
I'm coming in a little bit lower evaluation.
It could be.
Right. That's what I'm looking into. Like I know a lot of people are looking at Matt Boldy's contract. He's making 7x7, right? I'm comparing him and his goal scoring and kind of what he brings to the team. And they're two different players, but I'm looking at Jason Robertson's contract, right? Jason Robertson just is in his first year of his deal. He's making 7.75.
Yep.
And he's arguably one of the big breakout players of the last few years.
Oh, big time.
So I'm looking kind of in that range of say 7.5 up to that kind of, I wouldn't break 8.
It wouldn't surprise me if it broke 8, Matt, but to your point though, I think that's an excellent comparable. And the one thing we all have to remember here, and listen, God love Marc Bergevin, but I'm so happy that we have a former player agent in Ken Hughes doing these negotiations.
I agree.
Because those two, he'll be able to sit across from Caufield's agent, and they should be able to work this thing out without any kind of real drama going on here.
Yeah.
Because Ken Hughes, I mean, Patrice Bergeron's agent, for God's sake, or former agent. He was an agent to a lot of notable players. He knows all the ins and outs. He knows what the comparables are going to be. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it came in at, say, 7.8, same comparable, but I could see it being a little above, going maybe up to 8.5.
Right. I'll even throw in another comparable. Starting next year, Tage Thompson.
Oh my Lord!
Right,
yeah.
He's making just over 7.1.
7.1. Yeah.
Right. And he's locked in. He's locked in for a 7-year deal.
Yep. Well done by Kevin Adams of the Sabres, by the way. I mean, when I got to be honest, when that contract was signed, I was like, well, I don't know. He had one really good season and 38 goals, sure, but you're kind of jumping on that a little bit. And now it's just like, oh my God, what a steal! I
think the extra that might come off this Caufield contract though is the fact that he's the only one that's doing it on the team. Right. Yeah. You look at Dallas and Robertson, and you've got other guys that are contributing. You look at Buffalo, you got a core of players that are contributing. You don't have that with the Canadians. So you look at their top 3, and they're the outliers of the top 3, right?
Yeah, which is why I think you could see that go above 8. But people are saying no way, 9 and 10 million. No, it's not going. It's not getting to that range. I'll be very surprised.
That's Pasternak money.
I say 8 for 8. Yeah. That's what I say.
Pasternak money is 11 to 12 mil, guys. Yeah. I will be shocked if he takes under 10 mil.
Right.
There's hometown discount, and then there's pay me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So only Leafs take hometown discounts. Only Leaf players. That's it.
Yeah. When you're bidding against yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's.
I do feel that Caufield's looking at about 9% of the salary cap. The cap's going to be going up soon, so they might add a couple of percentage points on there, like a 9.5, which would take it to about 8.5, like you said, Lyle.
Yeah.
So
it's all how it's structured, guys. It's all how it's structured. He gets the money toward this latter half of the deal, which I suspect is the way it's going to get structured. Where it averages out to be, let's say, 8.25 mil, but he's going to be pulling in 10 mil, or 11 mil in the final years of the deal, when you expect him to be in his prime and deserving of that kind of money. It's still going to end up being an excellent value contract, just like Nick Suzuki's is an excellent value contract.
Yeah.
Not according to some people.
Oh, for God's sake. Stop it, Greg. Stop it. Stay off social media. It's not the real world.
I'm talking to the
some it is.
For some it
is. All right. So we got a lot of stuff to cover yet. So I think what we'll do is we'll take a break here. We'll make this part 1, and then we're going to have a part 2 that'll come out following this episode. So for those who are watching and listening, just stick around and we will be right back.